Welcome back to the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Menti. Several states are dealing with this, and Delaware is no exception, fighting the ravages of heroin and the heroin epidemic. Joining me now to talk about it is Cathy McKay. She's CEO and president of Connections. Thank you so much for being here. What is Connections?
Connections, actually our name is Connections Community Support Program. It's a little long. We are a nonprofit provider of behavioral health services in Delaware and a lot of other kinds of supportive services like housing and employment services. So we serve people with serious mental illnesses and people with serious substance use disorders such as addiction to heroin in about 100 locations in Delaware, including we're the healthcare and behavioral healthcare provider for Delaware's Unified Correctional System.
And when there's a lot of fighters, there's a lot of people on the front against heroin addiction,
right.
And there's law enforcement, and there's counselors, and there's psychologists. Right. Where do you come in?
Well, we come in a lot of different places. So we run a detox center, which is in Kent and Sussex County, serves Kent and Sussex counties in Harrington. We have 5 methadone clinics that we operate throughout the state, and methadone is medication-assisted treatment, opioid replacement therapy, which helps people who are addicted to recover.
The people that have a problem with the way we're dealing with the heroin epidemic right now, one of the things is they say you can't arrest your way out of it. But even when people go into rehab, many times they go through the rehab and then they find themselves right back in the environment they were in the first place.
That's actually right. And the fact of the matter is that the science really says that you need to do something completely different from that. So if you look at the research, 90% of people who use heroin for more than a year, if they just go to a 30-day rehab, or even if they go to prison and they come out, their chances of relapsing are between 75 and 90% within a very short period of time of leaving those settings. So the standard of care really is what we call opioid replacement therapy, which is using a controlled substance like methadone in a controlled way to bring people into outpatient treatment. There's a lot of reasons why chemically the drugs of replacement work differently than the drugs of abuse, and they give you an opportunity to get your life back together.
Because of that stigma you were talking about, has the government gotten in your way in some of these things, or are they becoming more supportive?
What they're finding is there really is no evidence that there is a better way. So I think as that's emerged and it's become clearer that, you know, you could put a rehab on every corner and everything that you said about it is what would happen. People,
it was funny because the federal government that wasn't there when these opioid-based drugs flooded the market and didn't stop that are now trying to stop the cure, or at least the treatment for the opioid addiction.
The federal government's not trying to stop the cure now. They've gotten it, and the CARE Act, which was recently passed last year, it pretty much says this is the standard of care, this is what we should be doing. We should be doing opioid replacement therapy.
So what's the problem? You said they still are getting in the way.
No one's getting in the way now, but it was yeah, I think no one's getting in the way now, but it took a little while for people to buy it. It took a little while for them to get their heads wrapped around it.
Because I was surprised when you said sometimes. That's what I was. You're smiling as if there's something else going on.
No, I mean it's, you know, I think that it took everybody by surprise. You know, you're right. The opioid painkiller drugs, Oxycontin, oxycodone, hydrocodone, those flooded the market in the early 1990s. By 2000, it was recognized that it was a huge problem. Unfortunately, some of the crackdowns on the prescribing made the problem a little bit worse at first, because as doctors became more reluctant to prescribe the opioid painkillers, people had to go, they were addicted, so they had to go find them from another source. And the people who sell drugs, illicit drugs, are very entrepreneurial. And it used to be that heroin was a little bit of a bridge too far for people. They weren't willing to shoot up and that kind of thing. But the heroin out there now is so pure, you don't need to shoot it, you can snort it. And so, you know, it became a drug of abuse really quickly. So
for somebody that's watching now and may want to, want your services and may need your help, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so we have an 800 number. People can call and make an appointment for an initial assessment, and we have intakes somewhere every day. People can walk into most of our clinics and have an intake. We have opioid replacement clinics in Newark, Dover, Smyrna, Harrington, and Millsboro. The state of Delaware also has a helpline called, oh, am I going to be able to remember what it is?
Yeah, you should bring up helplines. You don't know the number too. We'll put that up too. But thank you. I really appreciate you coming in. Cathy McKay is the CEO and president of Connections. When we come back, the kind of story that I love, somebody who took a tragedy and turned it into something positive. And as a matter of fact, grown so big, he's creating jobs in a whole new industry in the state of Delaware. When we come right back.